Welcome to our channel. Today, we've got an astonishing story that will make you rethink the odds and the game itself. We're diving into the case of the man who managed to cheat the lottery and walk away with a staggering $24 million. Yes, you heard that right. Let's get started. It's January 2015, and in Iowa, outside the district attorney's office, it's cold, freezing inside. A large man in his late 40s is sweating. He's sitting on a secret worth more than $20 million, because he's found a guaranteed way to win the lottery. And that is not supposed to happen. Biggest lotto scam in U.S. history. One of the most elaborate lottery scams ever. In my career, I've not seen anything quite like this. It's pretty ingenious if you think about it. The year is 2010, Des Moines, Iowa. It's 2 days before Christmas, a wonderful time of year. All in all, he figures it's about time he got lucky. He deserves it, and he thinks he's found a way to do it with the Hot Lotto. The Hot Lotto is a multi-state lottery game where players get to pick 5 numbers, and then the 6th, known as the Hot Ball. Get all 6 numbers right and you win or share a minimum jackpot of $1 million. Your chances. A microscopic in 29 million, unless you're this guy in Des Moines. He picks up at the Quick Trip convenience store, grabs a hot dog, and hands over his winning tickets combination. $16.5 million. Hot Lotto winner. The Iowa Lottery has been looking and asking for everyone to please check their tickets. And at first to the lottery company, that seems like no big deal. It's holiday season, and with all those parts to go to, the winner has probably just forgotten to check their ticket. It happens, right? But no, Eddie hasn't forgotten. And he's certainly not busy partying normally. Because Eddie has developed a secret system for predicting lottery numbers. A system that will get a lot of attention if he's found out. At first, he thinks about walking away. But wait, this $16.5 million would totally change his life somehow. Eddie needs a smart plan B, so he visits an old friend from his hometown. That's Texas called Robert Rhodes. Eddie hands Robert the priceless piece of paper, and the plan is now for him to cash it in on Eddie's behalf. The winning ticket must be cashed in within 365 days of the draw, so there's plenty of time. But Eddie gives Robert one simple instruction. Do not wait until the end to claim it. Do not. But Robert does wait, and the lotto waits and waits too. Now Robert is losing his nerve, and so eventually Robert gives a ticket to his attorney, who then passes it on to another attorney in Quebec, Canada called Philip Johnson. With just 30 days to go, Philip Johnson contacts the hot liars to claim the jackpot on the client's behalf. Philip explains that he's not well, so he can't deliver the ticket in person, but sure enough, he does have the correct 15-digit serial number. A case is, the Hot Lotto, there's a lot of money to be won here, so we're going to need some extra information. Can you tell us what you were wearing when you handed in the ticket? And in one way, Philip's answer is smart. A tweed jacket, dress pants, and dress shoes. Very smart. But in another, his answer isn't all that smart at all. Because to help them try and find the winner, the Hot Low have already done some digging and got hold of Quick Trips. In store footage, they know he was wearing a dark-colored hoodie, quite the opposite of a tweed jacket, dress pants, and shoes. So to be sure, they watch it again. And no, he's a big guy who came in a hoodie and left with a hot dog. What had been a simple case of a missing winner is starting to look a little like fraud. So the lottery bosses say they must see the ticket. And now they're on high alert. With 30 days to go, the clock is really ticking. Everything goes quiet. The lotto bosses become more and more suspicious. 30 days turns into 2010-5. And then on the last day, with just 1 hour and 50 minutes before the 4 p.m. deadline, representatives from another law firm turn up at the Lotto HQ with the winning ticket itself. They claim that the ticket holder is simply a wealthy man who wishes to remain anonymous. When you're already rich, most people won't be pleased to hear you've won big on the lottery. So for this reason, the prize just needs to be paid into an offshore trust managed by a corporation in Belize. You see, Belize is a completely legal tax haven. Here the mega wealthy can keep their money without paying any tax. And so this story is starting to make total sense. It's just time to collect that $16.5 million. But there's a problem because who's the president of that offshore trust is our old, well-dressed Canadian attorney friend Philip at Johnson. The Hot Lotto state that their rules are clear. Only the winning ticket holder themselves can collect the money, and Eddie won't do that. And because of the in-store video, Robert won't be able to either. The legal team asked perhaps if the money could go to charity. No, and then they withdraw their claim. Just add into the suspicion, in the words of the appropriately named Lotto Chief Terry Rich, situation absolutely stank all over the place. He alerts the district attorney. Either there's a mystery rich guy out there who just wants to keep things quiet, or someone has tried to cheat the lottery out of more than $16 million. 1 year goes by and then another. Fast forward to 2014. The Hot Lotto have no leads and no hope. To Eddie, getting away with it feels like a victory. His system remains a secret, and he goes back to normal life, but the battle is not yet won. It might look like it's the end of the story, but in fact it's only just the beginning, because this is where a few minor details unravel. So much more. More than many could have even imagined. Over at the district attorney's office, there's a new kid in town, a smart baby-faced prosecutor called Rob Sands. He's handed the case file. There's not much in it, and he promises to take a look, which might not mean much. He's a busy guy, but he's also serious. Very serious. He hates people who break the law. His in-laws even call him Baby Jesus. So he attacks the cold case like a dog with a bone. He interviews the Canadian attorney Philip Johnson, who under oath tells him he was working on behalf of a Texan attorney, who tells him that the ticket came from a local businessman called Robert Rhodes. But Rhodes isn't the guy in the Quick Trip video. So to find out who is, Sands goes public with it all across America. Here's the key moment. And there's Eddie. He hands over the ticket, pays for his hot dog, because now's the perfect time for a snack. And that's that 75 seconds of TV gold. His face is covered. You can't see that it's him. But the trouble is, you can hear his voice. And pretty soon his name is coming up again and again. Hello. Yes, sir. Because who's listening the hardest? The people who work at the lotto. And why do they recognize Eddie's voice? Because here's the thing. Eddie works for the lotto too. As head of security, Eddie is the Information Security Director of the Multi-State Lottery Association, overseeing games in 30 states, including the Hot Lotto. As a computer whiz, his job is to make sure that no one can cheat. Now, it doesn't seem like Eddie got the memo. In fact, it's illegal for him to even buy a ticket. Eddie is arrested, and the background check throws up some interesting results. Eddie has prior convictions for burglary and theft. Incredibly, his employers admit that they knew about these crimes, so giving him the job was, as a former Deputy Attorney General Thomas H. Miller observed, like inviting the fox into the chicken coop. Eddie completely denies that it's him in that video paying for the Hot Lotto, saying that at the time he was on holiday, and actually, he doesn't even like hot dogs, but GPS phone tracking proves that he was in the store when the ticket was purchased, and the clerk identifies him as the buyer. So Eddie is in hot water. Rob Sands asks Eddie how he's connected to Robert Rhodes, and Eddie says that he's never met him. It's a great answer, except for one tiny detail. They're friends on Facebook. Eddie's phone records also reveal calls and texts between the two from before the ticket was purchased to after the prize was claimed. On January 5, 2015, he's arrested and charged with illegally buying the ticket and fraudulently claiming prizes. How, though, did Eddie Tipton rig the Hot Lotto? First, you need to understand how today's computerized lottery draws work. One computer generates a multi-digit input number and sends it to a second computer. This input number then gets put through a complex mathematical program, which then generates your random lottery numbers. But to ensure that these N numbers really are random, the input number must be random too. So lottery companies find different ways of making sure that happens. For the Hot Lotto, Eddie wrote some code. The computer took a live measurement of atmospheric pollution, and this generated a truly random number. Smart and completely legitimate. But if Eddie could occasionally rig this number, he could secretly rig the lottery. Computer expertise enabled Eddie to pull off this $16.5 million fraud. Sadly, the same kind of expertise would also prove to be its downfall. Because while some computer geeks become crooks, others become prosecutors. Like Rob Sand, who had high school job writing code and doing tech support. He has a thing about white-collar crime. When crime is not based on desperation but greed, discovered hidden code which enabled Eddie to control the final lottery numbers for certain draws. Back in court, Eddie pleads guilty and agrees to fill in all the gaps so the lottery industry can learn using the access he had his computer smarts. It all went according to plan until he came up against some other geeks just like him. One of the final acts in the courtroom before he returns to prison for 25 years with $2.2 million to pay in restitution is to lean across and shake Rob Sand's hand as sign of respect. In July of 2022, Eddie Tipton was released on parole after just 5 years. He talked about entering the ministry, but who knows? Maybe he'll land his next dream job real soon. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating stories and strategies. See you next time.